The rise of Overwatch. People often forget how good Prime Overwatch used to be before it got turned into a joke. But before Overwatch fell off, and before Overwatch 2, and before the release of Marvel Rivals, where they took inspiration from Overwatch,
he copied my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
there was the original Overwatch. It was one of the biggest games in the world when it first released, and for good reason. Overwatch was low-key prime gaming for me when it first released. And if you're clicking on this video, I know you guys feel the same. The amount of anticipation for this game's release was like no other. It was the first game I ever pre-ordered in my fucking life. That's how hype I was for this release. So, what happened to this quote-unquote league killer? This is the first of a 3-part series where I cover the rise, the prime, and the fall of Overwatch. To see the rise of Overwatch, we're gonna need to go back to where it all began. Welcome to 2014. Hey, welcome back to 2014. What a time to be alive. Everyone's doing this new viral trend called the ASL Bucket Challenge. Even the king, LeBron James, was doing the challenge. And Frozen was making a killing in the box office. And also, there was this one disease that everyone was freaking out about. I think it was called Ebola. It's not like it's gonna shut down the world or anything. And oh yeah, that one song that no one could get away from, that happy, upbeat, fucky ass song that Pharrell made. Hey yo, turn that shit off before we get a copyright strike. But also in 2014, I got a Skype message from one of my best friends. He sent me a link to some game trailer. I might as well check it out. I didn't know at the time, but my friend just linked me to one of my most beloved games in the future. But before we had Overwatch, there was actually a game called Titan, and that game was in development for 7 years before it got shut down and turned into Overwatch. And while I was researching this game, I was looking at some of the game assets and nigga, is that Winston? And look, there's fucking Reaper too. However, we didn't get our first taste of Overwatch until BlizzCon of 2014. And BlizzCon is an annual event hosted by Blizzard Entertainment. You guys might know this company for such classics as RPM Racing and The Lost Vikings. Also, they made some lesser known games like StarCraft and World of Warcraft. But also, during the same event, Blizzard released their first new IP since World of Warcraft in 2003. The first ever trailer for Overwatch was introduced to the world. A brand new hero class-based shooter. And to say that this game had high expectations would be a fucking understatement. I remember seeing this trailer for the first time and gaining instantly hype for the game. But we had to wait almost 2 years for its official release. However, in the meantime, they continued to drop Overwatch character ability trailers. And for Overwatch, there was the original 21 characters. And this is where I believe Overwatch shines the brightest. It's their unique, interesting character designs. You could identify each hero just by sound alone. Starting off with the first ability trailer was for Bastion. And Bastion is a killer robot with a fucking bird on him. Ooh. Fucking clanker! After Bastion, we got Hanzo, the weeaboo archer, with some badass tattoos and even worse aim. After that, we got Mercy, the famous pocket heel slut we all love, keeping everybody topped off. After that, we got Farah, aka Al-Qaeda, throwing bombs and spreading terror from above. And after that, we got possibly the edgiest hero known to man, Reaper. This nigga doesn't even reload, he just fucking throws his guns on the floor. And then after that, we got the manliest of men, Reinhardt. Hammer down! A big brawly nigga swinging his hammer the same way I swing my dick in the shower. And the voice actor, just perfection.
This is Reinhardt, and Reinhardt, and Reinhardt, and Reinhardt, and we are delivering the payload. Back up, my friends.
And then we got Symmetra, glorified tech support. And back in the day, her old ultimate used to be the teleporter, and you could set up some funny ass plays with it.
Still much to be done.
I killed 2 people, yes!
And then after that, we got Torbjorn, the tower defense gnome looking ass nigga who just puts a tower down and hides behind it like a pussy. If you guys can't tell, I do not like this nigga. And then after that, we have Tracer, the British lesbian and arguably the face of Overwatch. She's able to blink around and has the ability to turn back time. And then after that, we got Widowmaker, our favorite sniper for obvious reasons. She bad. She bad. And then after that, we got Winton, a gorilla with a big ass Tesla cannon. Make sure you don't make this guy angry and also give him some peanut butter. And then after that, we got another fucking clanker, Zenyatta. And unlike Bastion, where he's a killer robot, he doesn't kill, he heals, but he also kicks. And then after that, we got our favorite pink-haired muscle mommy, Zarya. And for her, she can protect her team as well as doing an insane amount of damage. And the last one that was released was McCree. I'm not calling him Cassidy. This is your classic cowboy bebop ass character, a classic gunslinger that knows how to do damage and look cool while doing it. And some notable things that I noticed in these early trailers is that I don't remember Bastion having this big ass shield when he was mounted. It was probably removed before the release of the game. Also, Reinhardt's charge looks much quicker with less startup lag. And I also might be smoking crack, but I've never seen Symmetra with a shield like this or this ability. And also, Winston's primary fire looked crazy as hell back then. After the first 14 ability trailers were released, Overwatch would continue to drop these ability trailers month by month throughout 2015 all the way up until 2016. And approximately 7 months later, on July 2015, Soldier 76's trailer dropped. And for Soldier 76, he's an old man with PTSD, and he has the abilities of a classic shooter like Call of Duty. And then a month later, on August 2015, Lucio, a Jamaican man using music to heal and uplift, as well as to murder and destroy. Bumba clap! And then another month later, in September 2015, we got Roadhog and Junkrat, fatty and crazy. Roadhog being a beefy ass tank that can rip you out of your bed.
Bro, he was dead, bro. If he wanted you out of there, he'd go do it himself on his feet by himself.
Something's wrong with him. That's not human, man. You're not.
And then we have Junkrat that will blow your brains out with explosions and bombs. And then a month after that, in October 2015, the closed beta started, and we're going to be talking about that later on. After that, November 2015, a month later, we had Diva, our lovable mech driver, and I'm pretty sure the lore, she's a professional gamer that uses her skills to be a hero or a mech driver.
Nerf this!
Also in November 2015, they dropped one of the most iconic characters in Overwatch history, Genji, a badass cyborg ninja that can deflect everything and has the mobility of a highly motivated crackhead. And this hero specifically has done irreversible damage to ranked Overwatch. You will get 99 shitty Genjis before you can find one really good one. And you can put his brother Hanzo under the same boat. Then lastly, but not least, Mei, my thick Asian ice queen.
They're taking the objective.
Damn, nigga, what you doing out here with all this ass?
And I know I can't be the only one who spammed this emote just to see her yams. And those are all 21 of the original Overwatch characters. Now, let's move on to the beta. Now, for the Overwatch Beta, it actually had two phases, the closed beta and the open beta. The closed beta started in October 2015 up until December, and then it was relaunched in February of 2016. And unfortunately for me, I never got access to the closed beta. And now that I think about it, no one I knew in my city got access to the beta, besides one guy I knew from college, and his name was Wyatt. He was a bit of a dickhead, and he had a bit of a drug problem, but he was still chill. But he would bring his laptop to school to play games, and during the time that we had a lecture, he was playing the brand new game Overwatch. And I remember I asked him, hey, can I play the game real quick? And you know what he told me?
Let's get a job now.
But apparently I wasn't the only one that did get access, because people were calling this beta the ghost beta, because no one besides the YouTubers and content creators and a few people who got lucky actually got access to it. And from the reviews I read, I've heard very positive things about the beta during this time. However, unfortunately, I never got access. So let's go ahead and fast forward to 2016. And before we get back to the rest of this video, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. It takes me forever to make these types of videos, so any type of support will be greatly appreciated. And then also make sure you drop a like. It's absolutely free and also helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get back to the video. Welcome to 2016, arguably one of the best years to be alive. And from the greatest sports comeback in history to the legendary 2016 Cypher.
Who the fuck picked this little sorry ass beat? I'm from.
And to everyone that was on the hunt for Pokemon on the go. You get it? And during the same year, in May 2016, Overwatch finally released. The game I had pre-ordered for months is now finally available. And I didn't waste any time. I was absolutely hooked on the first game. I was playing non-stop from morning to night. No bullshit, at least 2 months straight of straight Overwatch.
Do not play Overwatch. The game will consume your soul and it will drag it to the depths of hell. I'm not joking around, bro. I woke up at 9 p.m., dog, from playing it last night. This is a fucking problem, dog.
I was trying out all the characters and heroes just to see which one fits me the best. And some of my favorite memories were McCree, because on release, McCree's right click used to do an insane amount of damage, and you were even able to one-shot tanks if you right-clicked, stun, and then right-clicked again. Another character I enjoyed a lot was Soldier 76, due to be one of the only few offensive heroes that can actually heal himself and allies. And he plays like your prototypical Call of Duty character. And speaking of healing, do you guys remember when Reaper used to drop healing orbs on dead bodies, similar to Reyna from Valorant? Another character I really enjoyed was Reinhardt, because he said, fuck all that shooting bullshit, hammer down, come catch these swings. However, not all my memories were rainbows and sunshines. Perfect example would be Mercy's old ultimate, when she was able to res everyone from her team. So a strategy would be that the enemy team would waste all their ultimates, wipe the enemy team, and then literally Mercy would res them all back together, and then they would use their ultimates and automatically win. That was some fucking bullshit, and I'm glad that they removed it eventually. Some even more bullshit that I remember was Hanzo's scatter arrow, because if you were in a fucking house, he would one-tap you. If he just aimed it below your feet, he would one-tap you. And it doesn't matter if you're a tank or a fucking DPS, he would still be able to one-shot tanks too. It was such a fucking broken-ass ability during the release. And also, another thing I remember was Zenyatta being very weak, and it wasn't his damage that was making him weak, it was just that he would die to literally anything. And I'm pretty sure he had the same HP as Tracer, like 150 around his launch. So, what made Overwatch so special on release? Number one, the game was super polished, like a true AAA game. Now you guys have games coming out that are half finished, making you pay for DLC content that should already be in the game. While for Overwatch back in 2016, it felt complete right out the jump. Smooth as hell, I rarely encountered any bugs or issues, and even in the beta, people were talking about how the game felt already finished. Also, the maps and the characters are very bright and vibrant. Unlike other shooter games at the time, it really brings life to the environment. And from top to bottom, the game felt polished, a complete experience, and most importantly, fun. And Overwatch came out 10 years ago, and it still looks and compares to some of the modern games today. The gameplay. Another thing that I think Overwatch did right was the gameplay, because the gameplay was extremely addicting because everyone had their own role and you cannot succeed in this game without everyone doing their own part. You need a tank to soak up damage, create pressure, push forward, defend or protect your healers, like Reinhardt. However, you also have some tanks that can play like a diver or disruptor that can cause chaos in the enemy's back line, like D.Va or a Winston. And on the other side of the coin, we need healers. Everyone needs a healer on the team to keep them alive or bail them out of sticky situations. And unlike other games where the support feels like a background character, supports in Overwatch have a huge impact on the game, so it doesn't feel like you're playing the quote-unquote boring role. Your role is crucial to the team's success. And of course, you guys have your DPSs. And everyone wants to be the main character, and with so many options to choose from, you can pick and choose different DPS heroes based on your team's needs as well as based on the enemy's composition. And some of the best games of Overwatch always come down to the wire, and especially the way that payload and capture the point maps work, it can lead to some last minute heroic plays that just win you the game. It's stressful and exhilarating all at the same time. The ultimates. Another thing that made Overwatch special compared to other games was the ultimates. Everybody had a powerful ultimate that could change the tide of battle. There are some ultimates in the game that are meant to wipe out an entire team, like D.Va's mech, where she throws her mech and it blows up in a large radius, or Reaper crying out murder while he sprays the battlefield with his shotgun bullets, and then Junkrat summoning a demon tire to just go and blow up his enemies. And then on the other side, you guys have some ultimates that are used to set up your team, like Reinhardt slamming his massive schlong to the ground, stunning everyone in front of him. And then of course you have May's Snowstorm that freezes all the enemies that are trapped inside as well. Or you have some ults that are meant to save your team from being wiped, and they're mostly on supports. Like for instance, Lucio breaking it down, giving everyone a massive shield, or Zenyatta bringing tranquility to the battlefield, or Mercy literally reviving everyone and everything. And then you guys have those ultimates that are literally just hacks. Widowmaker being able to see through walls, and Soldier literally having an aimbot. Like, what type of noob would fucking main this hero? Like, the loot boxes. In OG Overwatch, one of the best systems has to be the loot box system.
So they're disappearing. They opened my boxes! I was collecting those, bitch!
And unlike other systems in other games that force you to spend real money on in-game cosmetics, back in OG Overwatch, it was really easy just to get loot boxes by playing the game. And these loot boxes just gave you another reason to keep playing. And of course, you could also buy these loot boxes, but with how frequently you were able to get these loot boxes just by playing the game, I never felt the need to purchase any loot boxes. And I was still able to get most of the skins and most of the cosmetics for my favorite heroes. It wasn't the most perfect system because you were able to still get duplicates back in the day until they fixed it later on, and also how loot boxes are technically just family friendly gambling, but that's not my point. This was a really good reward system for the game because it felt like you had an incentive just to keep playing and playing to get all your cosmetics that you wanted, and for free because you already paid for the game. Play of the game. Another underrated system in Overwatch has to be the play of the game. And unlike the final death cam in like Call of Duty where it captures the final kill of the match, the play of the game rewards the player who had the best play, regardless if you're on the winning team or not. This was a fucking godly feature that made me enjoy Overwatch even more because you were able to force the entire lobby to watch as you tear their asshole to pieces. And also, if you're some of the people that would equip that one Sombra play of the game, you're a piece of shit.
You can't counter me. Ooh.
The cosmetics. I know I already talked about loot boxes, but another system that they did very well was the cosmetics. And for the cosmetics, you were able to change your skin, your emotes, your weapon, your sprays, your voice lines, even your victory poses and play of the game. You could customize your main hero to your liking. But I'll never forget when they removed my favorite spray, my McCree new spray. the cinematics. And lastly, one of the best things that Overwatch did to actually hype up the game has to be the cinematics. The cinematics are insane for this game, and I feel like that's the main reason why most people started playing the game, because they saw the cinematics, saw how it was, and especially that Genji versus Hanzo one that was released 1 week before Overwatch. Woo! Peak cinema. And speaking of cinematics, who the fuck is that on the horizon?
Anyone want to join me? Anna, reporting for duty.
And before you guys leave, please, if you guys can, drop a like on this video, subscribe to this channel for more content. I spent all night, including this morning, editing this video just so that will be out on time for the holidays. So hopefully you guys enjoy your holidays, enjoy your time off. Make sure you guys talk to your family, talk to your friends. And without further ado, enjoy your motherfucking day, guys. And I'll see you in the next video.